Question 17. Is it right that so many animals suffer at the hands of humankind, and would vegetarianism be a worthy pursuit? The brief answer is no, it is not right that humans cause animals to suffer, and yes, it would be a good thing if we were all vegetarians. But I will elaborate. In relation to this question, a whole range of issues can be considered. Starting with the general treatment of companion animals, pets, and working animals. In relation to hunting and so-called blood sports, of whether experimentation and vivisection of animals can be justified and whether animals should be eaten. The first point to make absolutely and categorically clear is that all animals, as with all life forms, are at present on their own pathway of spiritual progression, or spirit evolution. In the past I have heard people say that we, people, have dominion over animals. However, any dominion we have over animals is not a higher authority sanctioned to do as we please with them. Our authority is really that of spiritual teachers, or at least it should be. We are effectively charged with the responsibility for helping their spiritual progression, so that they can spiritually evolve to higher expressions of eternal life. We do not own them, and they were certainly not put upon this planet for us to do with as we please, and generally abuse. Companion animals, pets, should be treated with love and respect, fed sensibly, generally made to feel at home and as members of the household. They have feelings and emotions, and often become ill if not given the love and companionship they, and we, need. In this way we help to develop greater love within the animal, while they too allow us to expand and express our own love, and I'm sure much more too. Working animals, such as those on farms, cows, sheep, pigs and so forth, if cared for and in good health can enjoy their lives. Horses are very much the same, whether they are racing or working horses, if they fulfill the desires of those who care for them without punishment, they can enjoy their role. They, indeed most animals, also enjoy being groomed and having human contact, someone taking an interest in them. When they are neglected in any way they can become depressed just the same as we can. The hunting of animals, especially in what are disgracefully called blood sports, is a total abomination to the human spirit. As I draft this edition, most such practices have ceased in the UK, although the possibility that it could be revived has yet to be totally dismissed. When ancient races such as the Native American Indians hunted, it was purely out of necessity for food and material for clothing. They nonetheless respected animals and all in nature. I have read that they offered a prayer to the animal informing their spirit of the reason for its physical demise, and how it was not done out of malice or for pleasure, but through necessity. These days people have no reason to hunt animals for food or for material for clothing, and those who do or did so for pleasure, especially when cruelty is always involved, by terrifying the poor animal over miles of chase, are or were truly indulging in a barbaric pastime fit only for the lowest upon the spiritual ladder of evolution. Moving on to the next part of this question, over the centuries humankind has always striven to find cures for the multitude of ailments suffered. The most successful remedies have always been natural, from nature, from plant, flower, herb, and tree. Only more recently are we finding, or rediscovering, other alternatives, such as vibrational treatments, color, crystal, and spiritual healing. These treatments, and others, can prove beneficial without causing the destruction of animals, or any suffering to any other form of life. They are also harmonious with the human spirit, which is itself higher vibrational energy with consciousness. Experimentation and vivisection of animals in an attempt to find cures to human ailments can never be justified. In the vast majority of cases, all such horrendous mistreatments bring zero results, and succeed only in inflicting torture upon the innocent. Such practices should cease immediately, for we are doing ourselves no good whatsoever by such non-spiritual behavior. Some people could argue that certain medicines and cures have been found as a result of such experimentation. Yet how much quicker may better cures have been found in nature? By my understanding of spiritual laws, God's natural laws, we can only reap according to how we sow. Therefore, if we abuse animals, or any other creature, each other, or the planet, we are sowing very poor seeds, and will have to pay the karmic price for our actions. However hard some may try to deny it, or justify such misdeeds, any and all abuse of animals is wrong. As more of us become aware of karma, the spiritual law of cause and effect, and its consequences, the more we will realize how demeaning and damaging to our own souls such behavior is. Consequently, the karma, which inevitably, in some form, must be created by our actions, may very well manifest as disease. In fact, I am absolutely sure that this does happen. Because as we effectively send out vibrations of pain and misery, death and destruction, so the vibrations in the circle of life return to us. In a sense, we could call this karmic justice. This further makes a mockery of trying to find remedies through such deplorable and inhumane actions. Finally, we come to the question of whether vegetarianism would be a worthy pursuit. I have personally put this question to a spirit guide, as well as hearing others do likewise. The answer is really twofold. From the point of view, which I too share, of an ideal to aim for, it is indeed a worthy one. With the passage of the decades, I believe a great many people will change their diets. Partially this will occur through a desire to be healthier, but also it will be through spiritual awakening. At present, I believe, a greater and still greater number of the human race are beginning to accept their true status as eternal spirit beings, and at the same time many are recognizing the fact that animals too are spirit beings. But as I said, the answer is twofold, for I have been told that certain animals, as a group, are spiritually aware that they will at this time in history be used by humans as a food source. This of course does not mean it will be their destiny for all eternity. Eventually these animals will reap the benefits of their sacrifice, as they advance on the never-ending chain of spirit evolution. Once more, we can return to the concern for the treatment of such animals, if their lives, until we learn better, are destined to be cut short to feed people. It is only fitting that their shortened lives should be reasonably pleasant ones, without cruelty, without suffering, and without needless fear. If not, the karmic consequences reaped by humanity will be the consumption of animal flesh that may well carry an unhealthy vibration, which could easily have an adverse effect on the health of the consumers. I can assure readers that this is not idle speculation. It has been said by more than one spirit guide. To those who do decide to change their eating habits, the recommendation I once heard a spirit guide suggest is to change gradually to allow the body time to adjust. One should also research to ensure that an adequately healthy and balanced diet is maintained. With just a little study, it does become apparent that all the necessary intake of protein and nutrients is readily available. I found the following interesting info in a book titled, The New Why You Don't Need Meat, by Peter Cox. In it he informs us that human beings have more in common with vegetarian animals than meat-eating animals. This is because vegetarian animals and humans have hands, or hoofs, flat teeth, and long intestines to fully digest nutrients in plant foods. Furthermore, we sweat to cool our bodies, sip water, obtain vitamin C solely from our diet, and a number of other vegetarian factors. While animals which are flesh eaters have claws, not hands or hoofs, sharp teeth, and short intestines to rapidly excrete putrefying flesh, they also pant to cool their bodies, lap water, and internally manufacture vitamin C, plus numerous other differences to human beings and vegetarian animals. In my opinion, the more we aspire towards respect and compassion for all life forms, and for all aspects of nature, the more we advance spiritually. I also believe that at some point in evolution, perhaps many generations from now, the eating of animals will by then seem just as barbaric and primitive as cannibalism and human sacrifices today seem to us.